Alrighty, what is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. I want to talk to you guys about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, that evaluation, total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, because that's hitting a big point right now. So I want to talk about that. Bitcoin dominance as well, DXY as well. A lot of things to talk about here. I was thinking we would come down a little bit this morning, but we did have this pretty decent pump up right now. We're going to talk about that too. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel because we're going to get into some big things right now. So first thing we're looking at is kind of on the weekly here. Very split RSIs. That doesn't mean you can't come up higher. Similarly to what you did over here, you confirmed the red dot and you pumped up even higher back in 2019, but it's a sign that probably a lot of the general move here is done, and you should at least correct down to 25, retest the 200 weekly moving average that you could probably see. Let me get it up right here at some point. Also have market cipher DBSI on. I'll show you one thing there I've been looking at on that too in a second. This area, I think we will retest this at some point here. That's what we got to pay attention to. So 30K is obviously a big area, 29.6 right now. If you look at what's happening right now, we are touching the top of this spiral line pocket right here, which is a pretty significant area. If you see the first time we touched this spiral line pocket right there back in February, that was a pretty fierce rejection. So that's what we got to look for. Potentially the next red dot on the 2-day may bring us down quite a bit here, or even potentially if it was potentially the next red dot on the daily, maybe a good kind of swing short on this to potentially come down. And the thing I'm looking at here is getting pretty high with the money flow here in the 16-hour. Obviously can go higher, but typically you don't go too much higher than 24, 25 here. I mean, in recent times, look at this. I mean, it's been a while. Time before that was March of 2022. And at that point where money flow was, you were almost about to top out there. So keep that in mind. Let's look at the 8-hour as well. Generally, money flow is coming out here. VWAP starting to kind of come down. So that is a sign that you are maybe getting a bit overbought as you come up. Also, the 29.5 area that I've been looking at for liquidation points was a huge area. A lot of shorts were liquidated out. Doesn't mean you can't go higher, but that is one big point to look at. A lot of shorts were liquidated with this pump up today. So that's what we got to keep in mind. And now we are printing a hourly bearish div right here as we're hitting this spiral line pocket. Didn't have much off of this volume area high, didn't have much off of this spiral line right there, but this one potentially could bring us down a bit in the short term. That combined with 15-minute money flow coming out as you're getting a bearish div there. Also, if you look at the DBSI here, 18 is a pretty high number on the bear. That's a pretty high number, so that's a good sign. 15 too is pretty good on the 30-minute. Pretty good sign that we should come down a little bit on the 30-minute here with this bearish div with money flow coming out. So pretty good sign for the short right here. Had a long in before that did pretty well, hit a bunch of take profits. I'm just letting that ride right now. Actually, I'll be completely transparent. Got stopped out at two shorts today, but it's all about risk management, because if I'm able to ride this short down, right here, or there is a new short. If you guys are interested in the Discord, link down below. Not financial advice, I'm not right 100% of the time, but if I'm able to ride this short down, I can make up a lot of the money I lost from those two shorts earlier today. And there were some good strategies too that have high probabilities. It's all a game of probability. I had two strategies that I would think would usually have at least a 60 to 70% rate of win, if not even a little bit higher. Those both got stopped out on the way up, but my long did well. So I kind of made up for part of it. And then this potential short, based on kind of these things, I think we'll do pretty well. Could be wrong. Anything could happen. It's all a game of probability. Could be wrong. We could blast up above 30K. It is a little bit risky to short Bitcoin just because of what I'm about to show you right here. Bitcoin dominance is really plowing up here some more. So it kind of looks like, unless we reject pretty soon, it kind of looks like this could even keep going. We might not really see any type of altcoin season, and then we'll just see kind of a pullback. And this will just continue. This is a tsunami of Bitcoin dominance. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, I've been talking about this money flow crossover and this bullish div on Bitcoin dominance for a long time. And I told you, do not underestimate that. And look what it's done. I mean, I think we could even see something like this really blasting up high if the whole market, as a summer lull, has a big correction into the summer, or it could be more gradual. So I think we got some more here. I think you're going to end up somewhere between 50 to 60%. probably at least kind of this area, I think. At least kind of 53, 54 here I'm kind of looking at. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin dominance. Also, I want to look at Ethereum. Ethereum as well, a lot of the same kind of as Bitcoin, been lagging behind it a little bit. We haven't made a new high for Ethereum. But, you know, what we're looking at is kind of the same things. It's interesting on the daily green dot right there. Could bring us up a little bit higher here. But this 2-day, you know, we've been waiting for a while for this bearish div to kind of come in here, to play out here. I think when it does, we'll have somewhat, you know, maybe similar to this, somewhat of a decent pullback. That's what we're kind of waiting for, the next kind of bearish div to potentially bring us down. Obviously, I believe this one was a bearish div. Not as strong. These were lower waves. But when you get two higher waves kind of here, you know, coming down from a higher, you know, kind of like that, that's a little bit stronger, and that could bring us down a bit more. So it does look like you're getting close to that area. We're coming up with the Ethereum, you know, the Shanghai fork. A lot of ETH is going to be released. My kind of guess is that you may see a lot of volatility coming into Wednesday. My guess is once it's released, it's going to be a little bit more of a sell the news type thing. I think more people will sell. I think it's going to be kind of a sell type thing. Could be wrong. Obviously not financial advice. Anything could happen, but that's what I'm looking at. And if you look at ETH on some of the lower time frames, just like Bitcoin, I believe you're about to get that 30-minute bearish div right there. That money flow looks like wants to start to come back down a little bit. We might get a rejection and kind of lose this fib level here potentially. I'm looking at that bearish div is confirmed on the 15-minute as well. I'm curious about the DBSI here. I want to take a quick look at that. That's a 16. That's a decent number. That could potentially bring us down here. If we look at also 10 on the 30, not extremely high. 14 on the 22, not a bad number to potentially bring us down with the bearish div. I think this could kind of roll over and come down a bit more in the short term here. Obviously, could be wrong. Anything could happen. If you look at ETH Bitcoin, you do have a weekly, not a bullish div, but a weekly green dot here. I do think this is going to kind of continue down forward and down more while alts continue to bleed against Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. It seems like it's only a matter of time before we come down to kind of the 0.5 again. That's where I'm looking at to potentially start kind of getting into ETH. The other thing on ETH that I forgot to show you, I just want to show you real quick. It's an important thing to keep an eye on is the 12-day here. This looks pretty bad, and you have a trend reversal right there. That marked the top here, marked the top there pretty well. Here obviously did not. You went into a bull run, but where we are in history, it would make sense for this to come down. Really good DCA opportunity, I think, once the red dot confirms and once you confirm in the red here. That's a really good place to look to get into Ethereum, in my opinion. Now, let's move on to total market cap. This is the total market cap without Bitcoin right here. You're hitting a big, let me just zoom out a little bit. You're hitting a big point, you know, a big kind of pocket right there. And I think this could kind of potentially reject from this pocket. I mean, maybe we could come up a little bit higher, but I do think you might reject from this pocket, potentially get a bigger kind of bearish div on the 3-day here that could bring us down. 2-day as well, you confirm that one, kind of playing, you know, red dot and then green dot, but I think you're kind of going to reject off of here, and I think total crypto market cap could potentially come down, you know, not considering Bitcoin. You also look at the trend reversal right there. You were very close here. You know, you were very close. That was the top there, but you were very close those two times. So we could have a rejection here, and I do think more on the macro, there's still a shot of a lot of this market, if we come into a recession, a lot of this market continuing to bleed potentially to lower lows later this year into early next year based on the recession. I know it's something a lot of people don't like to hear, and I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it's definitely in the cards. It is definitely in the cards with everything going on. And the last thing I want to show you guys is the DXY. Now, there is kind of a head and shoulders, somewhat of a head and shoulders forming here. You know, you see the head there, the shoulders, and blood diamond. It looks pretty bad in the weekly. However, this V-up's coming up, so you could potentially get a bullish div on the weekly. Other thing that I like for the bullish case for the DXY, also, the other thing too on fundamentals, I guess, a lot of people, well, it's kind of bad fundamentals, but I think it's going to give us kind of a dead cat bounce. So many people have been talking out against the US dollar, countries not using it anymore. I think it's going to give us somewhat of a dead cat bounce here. Look at this 2-day. Money flow coming up. Nice bullish div. Also look at the daily here. A lot of yellow X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look for some sell exhaustion. Money flow coming up. Looks like you may have some relief. I think if we go into recession, things continue downward. Traditional markets, keep in mind, in my opinion, may not bottom out until middle of next year, like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. You could see the DXY still coming up to 128, 130 into the middle of next year potentially. So that's what I'm looking at right now. That's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are interested in my exclusive Discord, link down below. If you're interested in trading, please take advantage of the really good promo with BITGET. You get $100 for free, no deposit required, as long as you are in one of those regions. Could take up to a couple business days to get that money in the account. I've never seen an exchange give that much to just as a trial without making you deposit anything. So check that out. There's probably like 60 spots still open. It's only 100 people. It could be even less now. So check it out while it lasts. Subscribe, like the video. All the other exchanges as well. If you sign up to any of my exchanges down below and deposit at least $100, I will give you 1 free month in my exclusive Discord. Just shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID and I will get you sorted. All right, guys, I think that's everything. Have a good one. Goodbye.